he's not here.
Every hour on the hour. Brock talk.
Where is
There you go.
Yeah, he's in here. He just hasn't said anything yet because he's a coward.
Oh my god.
All right. Sam back. Heck
Back.
yeah. Let's go. There's the other Sam. Proved it. All right, y'all. Welcome. This is. Do we ever come up with a name for this stream? Reading with your mouth. The Mouth Breathers Guild official comics live stream podcast, wherever you get podcasts and videos. Exciting episode. We've got the Sams here to talk Hound. This book kicks ass, and we will dig into it in just a bit. But of course, we have to plug our own books because we are indie creators and we desperately need to sell these motherfuckers.
Always.
So, boom. Me and Manny, we have a series called Renown. I found all the floppies for the old books too, so I'm excited to plug those on stream.
Oh my god.
Boom, check these out. Our web store is fucked up. Just DM us if you want to buy these. We'll get them out to you. They're cool. Monster hunting, sci-fi, fantasy. It's a fun time. Check them out. Manny's also got Legend of Carl. I found this in my box.
Yeah.
Oh shit, the glare's fucking it up. This book is rad. You like Deep Rock Galactic? Get this fucking comic book. It's sick. Watercolors. It's so awesome. I love this shit. One of my favorites.
Oh snap.
And then we got Ben Hill on the stream. He does Time Police. Look at this book. This thing is sick. It's a buddy cop. It's science fiction. Time travel. Fucking get at it, dude. This is on. You can find all these on Webtoons. Time Police is on Kickstarter. Someone dropped the Kickstarter link in the chat. That's much needed. Dude, indie comic creators, buy their shit. Go to LCS's. You know the usual. All right, y'all.
Yeah, Ben is
Sam.
on this.
How we doing?
Yo, Matt Seiler went crazy on that one cover. It looked so good.
Can I tell you the best part about making Time Police, while it's fun to like build a universe, it's also awesome to get to include like other creative people like Seiler Bedoya and our own Manny Tavares here, who just kick the shit out of like variant covers. They are freaking gorgeous.
I was gonna say something about Manny's too, but I've been blowing too much smoke up his ass. I gotta relax a little bit. Obviously, it was great, but
Alright.
Such a hardworking and talented piece of shit.
All right.
One day, I want to be as hardworking and talented a piece of shit as Manny. That's all I have to say.
Hey man, you released the Kickstarter and it's funded and it's awesome. So congrats on that, man.
Yeah. It's more than we can say.
Yeah.
Fuck
Very,
yeah.
very soon. I mean, I don't think you guys ever have to worry about that next time we release something. Which, by the way, there's an anthology that we hope to have done very soon for Heroes Con. So another shameless plug.
Yeah, Heroes Con only release. It's rad. Called All You Can Eat, the anthology of westerns.
Have they sent you all anything about tables yet? I'm still waiting.
Yeah, we got some stuff. We got.
Apparently, there's like a huge backlog because like some of the people who like even signed up last year at the con got waitlisted. So
yeah.
I
get it, dude.
Dang.
It's crazy.
You know what? You guys don't have to have your own table. I think between Manny, Kev, and I's table, we'll have room. Just set up. I'll change my banner out. Just throw your shit up. We're like, hey,
we'll be there no matter what. If we don't get a table, whatever. But we'll definitely be there no matter what. I wouldn't miss it. I just if I can't get one, I just go as a guy. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So.
All right.
Definitely.
And before we start, because I don't think that Mr. Brock the dealer was on earlier. I believe there was something, a personal message from the Sams to Brock.
Hell yeah! I said I think about him. I think every day. Every day. He'll like his name will just like pop up that he liked something, and I'm like, oh, I love that guy.
Yeah.
Ever since I met him.
Yeah, what a nice guy.
Is he here? Oh, I can see the chat. Here we.
Yep.
Yeah,
my boy Sam Freeman on the screen. No Sam Romesburg. Never mind. I'm gonna stop thinking about you from this day. What the hell? I'm just playing. I love that guy. I love him.
Dude, I anytime I need a little validation hit, I got my boy Rock the dealer.
Yeah.
coming in clutch for it. You know?
My dog.
He's ready.
Oh yeah. We also got Decayed Dancy in the chat saying hi, Samwise and Marlowe. So I'm assuming that's my two Sams here.
What the
Who's,
fuck is up?
I don't know.
Who's Marlo?
That's-
Yeah.
I don't know. You both could give off Philip Marlowe vibes. So
Oh, that's probably me because I fucking love The Long Goodbye. So
hell yeah. What about what's it? The Big Sleep. You a Big Sleep guy?
I've never seen it, dude.
Dude,
Dude, I've never seen that movie, dude.
Dude, you gotta read it, gotta watch it. Fucking Raymond Chandler, so good.
Yeah, that's something. That's something.
Love to sleep.
And I'm just gonna share my own personal love to Joe Bonk Lee. What up, Javen? How are you, my friend? So glad you could join us. But I think it's great to share all this love with everybody, but I want to share some love with this
Yeah.
gorgeous
Yeah.
book, Hound.
Boom.
What the hell?
Since we have both the Sams on here, I mean, that's what we came to talk about. Not just to shoot the shit with you guys, because you guys are freaking awesome, but we want to just, number one, you're just going to get nothing but love from Kev and Manny and I on Hound. I don't think any of us have said an unkind word to it in any discussion we've had about it. So
You can.
just
you can.
prepare.
Let's pick it apart. Let's find out what's wrong with it and really
All right.
dive into it.
Let's have some fun with it. Let's just be
Yeah.
true to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's my first time
yeah,
reading
what
it
we
right now.
usually
This is
do-
crazy.
You can go line by line, and I'll tell you which one is a Sam line, which is probably the better line, and which one is my line, which is the worst line.
There's no
Come on,
way.
I definitely want to dig into all the process pieces, but as we usually do on this podcast, stream, whatever you want to call it, start with our solicit and just kind of general vibes takes with it. Hound. During World War I, a young soldier, William Barrow, was assigned to one of the most deadly areas along the Western Front. However, he finds the greatest threat to his life lies not with the enemy, but with horrific and dangerous cult formed by his own men. Now he must try to survive both the ongoing war and the animalistic nature of his fellow soldiers. Hound, put out by Mad Cave Studios very recently. I don't remember the actual date. Guys, general takeaways, first impressions.
Bad.
Did we write that? Did we write that thing on the back?
I don't know. Usually
No.
the marketing department will.
Was that them?
I'm gonna ask. This does not sound like anything either Sam would put in or on the book.
No, that sounds sick.
It sounded. It made it sound cool.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think we
cool,
wrote
man.
that.
It's the solicit
Hell
on the back of your own book.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go
cool.
Mad Cave. Mad Cave. First and foremost, we should get it out of the way. Mad Cave is like the fucking sickest publisher ever. They are the best. Like they took such good care of that book and like hooked it up with. I mean, that alone sounded so good. They did it. I mean, it's definitely the most like professional looking book we have ever done. Like just kind of picking it up, feeling it. It smells good, you
Yeah.
know. Like we were just like whenever we got to see it in person, we were like, this is like a real ass book. This is crazy.
I freaking love the shine, the shimmer on the Hound lettering on the cover too, man. When I
Dude,
picked this book up, I was like, well,
crazy.
damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Huge shout out
Yeah, that was
to
crazy.
shout out to Tim Daniel for that logo too. That guy is
Yeah.
also everywhere.
Sick.
Hell
logo.
yeah. And who did the cover on this?
Our boy Rodrigo.
Rodrigo did it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's Roddy B, baby.
Dude, tell me how you got hooked up with Rodrigo.
Yeah. What's the story there?
What was that process?
I think Sam
Bro.
found him.
Yeah, like so my favorite thing to do whenever I'm just like not trying to work at my job is I'll like go to like an artist's page and just like look at who they're following, like an artist that I like. I think honestly probably one of my most honestly like a couple of my most searched names on the IG are I think Ben and Manny, because I go there first and then I'll pick a guy and then I'll go through their following list and pick a guy and I'm just like looking around and like I just stumbled across his page and was like, oh shit, this guy is crazy. And like I'll like bookmark a guy. There's definitely a thing that I do, especially where we are at being like nobodies, where you have to have a certain like follower ratio. Where I'm like, if you have like over 5,000 followers, I'm like, you're busy. There's no fucking chance. Like, there's no way. So I gotta try to kind of find you early on, you know. And I saw his page, and then I think I like bookmarked it. I have a bunch of like bookmarked people that I'm like, this is crazy. I would love to work with them on something. And then like when this came up, a big thing for me is that the book takes place in Europe, and it was like Rodrigo's from Spain, and he clearly has a very like European style,
Yeah.
and we wanted it to feel like it was taking place in Europe, so that was like such a big draw for him as well. So I just like hit him up, and he was like, for sure, he was so like immediately from the jump. Sam can tell you, he was like cool as hell from the first time we talked to him. He was so down the whole time.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah,
You
he
just
did
reach out to
everything.
him. He's just like, hey, you want to work
Yeah.
on something? He's like, hell yeah, let's go. This is pretty much it.
He was like, "What's the idea? All right, I'll just." Like the craziest thing too is that he did he penciled, inked, colored, every piece of art is him. He
Yeah.
did everything,
That's awesome.
and like, so, like the biggest like testament to what he can do is that cover. Like I think this cover is so striking, and he was kind of like, we just thought of it on a whim. He was because we were getting ready to like pitch it, and we had the first 5 pages all done up and everything, and we were kind of like, should we do a cover?
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll draw one. And we were like, he's like, do you have any ideas? And Sam was like, what if it was just like a wolf with like his mouth open and there were some soldiers in it? And if we don't like it, we can do another one or whatever. And then like, what was it like? It was like 4 days later. He was like, how's this? And we were like, holy shit, it's like perfect. yeah, he was crazy.
Yeah, I think whenever I feel like I texted you that, and I was like, I don't know, whatever. And the moment it was a couple days later. You sent it to me, and you're like, you check this out, and I was like, oh, this book is like the sickest shit.
Yeah,
I was like supremely confident in the book after that. I was like, dude, did we just write the greatest fucking book? Like,
it's like and I feel like this, like I think I've said this on like anytime I can talk about comic books, I think I've said this, but it's like I personally feel like comics that I have a hand in making are like 25% mine and kind of 75% whoever, you know, brings it to life, you know, like our artists. And like any success that this book has had, like anyone that I've talked to about it who I didn't like put it in their hand like myself has been like, yeah, I just like saw the cover and just wanted to check it out. It looked so cool, and it's like that's 100% due to Rodrigo. And like obviously, you know, like we are just like we just write it, you know. He is our, you know, our the actors, what he's everything else. He just makes it what it is, and he like so many things about the book were like, this is the vibe we're going for, and we didn't have to change. There was no notes to like anything he sent us.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was just like, and also he's like so quick. I feel like there were so many times where like, because Mad Cave like sent us like a schedule, and they're like, we should probably be done with these things at this point, and they kind of broke it up. If it was like 4 issues, like 20 pages, and every single time I was like, we would get like a set of 20 from Rodrigo, and I would text Sam and be like, dude, I think we can get this out earlier than we think. Like, and that's not how it happened, but yeah, I was just like, yeah, he's just like this like total like machine.
Yeah,
And he's like the nicest guy too. Like,
Of course.
Can I ask you, Mr. Freeman, because we're talking about something, you know, very technical, I guess not technical, more on the, you know, just business side. Like, how much time did they say, did Mad Cave say, we want you to have this project done? Like,
so when we got the yes about it, it was August 2022. And then they were kind of in this like period of flux. I think they were bringing a new, like a new head of the company, like an editor in chief. So we didn't really get started on it until I think that September or that probably October, I want to say. And Sam and I were already halfway through the script, and I think they presented us the dates like okay, you should probably have the script done, you know, in I think it was like 2 months from the sign date, and then we'll start with art. And I think when they sent us that schedule, we were like, okay, well the script's done. It's all done.
Yeah. I have the spreadsheet pulled up that they gave us with our like deadline dates. Some of them are closed out just because it's done. But like one of the earliest ones that are still left on here was our deadline for the cover was March 31st, 2023. So almost exactly 1 year ago,
Wow.
just to have like a cover, kind of being like this is. And that was kind of like nearish the end of the first, like they so the book is 80 pages and they broke it down in like 20-page chunks where they were like, thumbnails for the 20 pages are due here, the inks here, the colors here, the letters here, whatever. So, and the cover was kind of due at the end of that first chunk. So it's been, so about a year from right now is when the first kind of chunk was due. So to be honest, like it's 80 pages. That's like 4 issues, whatever. It didn't take a long time to kind of get it and turn it out and get it out there. So,
and it's crazy too because we pitched with the cover.
Yeah.
So I think it was like probably the reason that's not closed out is because it was done, like it was in the file of like the pitch doc when we sent it.
And they had like no notes for it. I mean, which was really cool because the thing about Mad Cave that was awesome too was we were one of the. It was kind of as they were transitioning into doing creator owned stuff. Like they previously were doing their own. They had their own in-house ideas and would hire people to write and draw whatever. And then they were transitioning. I remember when I met one of the editors at HeroesCon actually, and he kind of like let me know like this is what's coming. So if you want to get in, like you can send me some stuff. And we sent them one thing that we got. They wanted to do with us, and then we actually ended up taking it to Aftershock instead, which was the biggest fucking mistake of our lives. But
dude, just like honestly, total power moves. That's what was going through our heads. We were like,
yeah,
probably the best business decision would be going to Aftershock.
Right.
And it was like the worst thing ever. But then
if you can do it at Aftershock, you can do it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
dude, if we can get a $16 million lawsuit at Aftershock, dude, we can take that $16 million lawsuit to Marvel, dude. Take it to God, dude.
That's so fucking punk rock place.
It was crazy. That whole process was nuts. But yeah, we just sent it. We sent Hound. We had like the first 5 pages done, and like there was no like they had. I can't really think of like any notes. I think our editor James Emmett, who was fucking awesome, he would have like little things here and there, but like nothing. Basically, all we told Rodrigo was we wanted it to feel like the war scenes. We wanted to feel like fucking gross.
Yeah.
And like we wanted it to be like colored and like a really like 90s like flat Vertigo style. And he was just like, yeah, I can do literally anything you want and just kill it.
Yeah, I think in the pitch pages there was one page at the end that I think the script changed. Because there's one where it was like, I don't know if you remember, Sam, but it was like a splash page that looked like really gnarly. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, you're close to it. If you skip to where that lady gets stabbed in the neck, it's like one more, I think. One more. Boom, that one. The knife comes out in the original drawing. It came out of the other side of her neck. And they were like, that's like really graphic. And I was like, all right. That was one of the things that we had to change. They thought it was a little too like gnarly. But
interesting.
They let us keep her getting stabbed in the fucking neck though, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be graphic, truly. Like, I'm with you. I love the gore and the splatter, but like, it really doesn't need it for this scene to like really hit. Because like,
100%.
just this still dead body just laying here throughout this entire scene, and also like standing out with kind of the highlights and the color is just fucking haunting. It's great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to take a moment. Like, you guys have been talking about Rodrigo and his art style. I love how much this just fits with that time period and the feeling of how gritty war can be.
Mm.
But his work on facial expressions, especially eyes, his eyes freaking awesome.
Yeah.
There's so much emotion that he conveys just in that.
Yeah.
So my favorite panel, if you go back to that scene where the lady gets stabbed around there, there's a scene where, or stop, like right there, the bottom left. That panel is my favorite panel in the whole book.
With the
Just
soldiers here?
all of their faces are so crazy to me. Like they all look monstrous and like mean as fuck. It's exactly what you were saying, Ben. It's like it's this, to me there's so much like personality in that panel alone. Like I can't believe he did it. They look so scary to me. Like so he's so crazy.
Just like even like
I
the
really
innocence in the characters, like the main character's eyes too. You know, he definitely feels like a little puppy dog. You know, compared to everyone else. Everyone else is like a just complete monster maniac. You know.
Hell yeah.
So,
hell yeah.
This was great. Really nailed it.
It's awesome.
So, did you guys? Were there ever any notes that you had to give Rodrigo? Because it does feel like some of this stuff. I don't know if it's just natural or. Especially when it came to just kind of the goriness of the hounds themselves. It's like, did you ever have to say, push this more? Or aside from, like you were saying, you know, you got a note from Mad Cave. But were there notes that you guys had specifically for Rodrigo?
No, I don't think so. I think it was like...
Truly, no.
Yeah. I think anytime we got like a page back, Sam and I are both like, this is like fucking crazy. Like
it was
like
always
so
it was always way better than what we were thinking, but like we also really gave, so with this especially, like I'm looking over our script now, we try to give him as much freedom to just like, you know, like he spent his whole life, you guys know, like you spend so much time like you know, being the person like learning how to make something look right on a page. So it's like the less that we try to like dictate, or the less we try to put you in a box, the better it's going to be, because it's like, you know, I don't know, you know. So like for example, I'll say there's one page where one of the hounds gets like shot in the head, and it's like a splash and they like explode.
So good.
Okay.
I think it's page 52.
Yeah. You have it, Manny.
It's so good. I was just looking at this page for a bit.
Yeah, that one. Our page thing. So all it says is splash. One of the hounds is shot in the face. Let's make this look grotesque as fuck. And that's what he did. That's he was just like this, and we were like, dude, perfect,
nailed it.
You did it. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that's awesome.
He just got it. Yeah.
No, I was definitely going to ask you about that. Just like, and like your general just formatting and writing and like plotting and planning. Like, are you down to page and panel counts? How like rough are you, I guess, when you're working with Rodrigo? Like. Writing this out, like, are you just like, I'm just gonna focus on dialogue and captions, and then Rodrigo does whatever the fuck he wants, and I just trust him? Or what was that kind of exchange like?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like, I think like, at least when I write a page or write a panel, I think I never try to be like, the door's on the right, and the guy in the blue shirt comes in, but then there's a guy in a pink shirt. Like I never want to be like that, like descriptive, just because I think it's like totally like, oh, I could just get like AI to do it. You know what I mean? Like, not like I would, dude. I wouldn't get AI. I don't cancel, but like, but I think like just giving some like leniency and kind of being like, you probably know better than me. But I think when I write like a panel description or a page or anything, I want it to like convey a vibe rather than being overly descriptive. You know what I mean? So there's some panels where I'll be like, yeah, it smells like shit. Or like just stuff that like can't be drawn but can be like, if Rodrigo or any artist would read it, they'd be like, oh, I know what's going on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely trying to put like a feeling to him. Yeah.
Yeah. I get you. It's like having a conversation. Like I know that when Kevin and I are working together, it's kind of like that conversation kind of thing. You know, you get that little sprinkle of information, and then the other person goes yes and kind of deal. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
100%, 100%. And he was like Rodrigo again. Like I can't understate how everything he did was like exceeded every expectation we had. He really just kind of got what we wanted, and even in a lot of parts that we didn't, like when we were down there for the signing, I forget what it was, but we saw something that we hadn't even noticed until we were there, and we were both like, holy shit, look at this page. Like we didn't, he just did it. So I don't know. I think
it was the German soldiers.
Yeah.
There's when you first like see what the German soldiers look like, they kind of look like the Hounds.
Oh yeah. It's the same panel that I had pulled up. Their faces kind of like, it's like they're almost like they themselves are on this verge of like transforming. You know what I mean? They like this war is kind of taking hold of them in the same ways and it's like, dude, that's such like a narrative fucking amazing idea that we did not have, that we might be getting credit for because you drew it that way. Like, it's that kind of thing where it's like, dude, you exactly. It's that yes and you are as much, if not more so, the like creator of this thing. So yeah,
also,
all kudos to Rodrigo.
If outside of this conversation, if someone were to be like, that was so cool that they look like that, I'd be like, thank you.
So yeah, like how much, because I'm assuming that when you were kind of pitching this, you were just kind of pitching plot, some pages, not the full script. So like, how involved was Rodrigo kind of in the story process? Like, were you having him looped in and kind of like talking things out, like this is how we would structure and plan things out? Or was it more just like, here are some pages, make some magic happen, Rodrigo?
I think it was more so like, so we pitched with our one-page pitch, which is kind of like the, this happens, then this happens, and this happens. And then to pitch to Mad Cave, we sent so originally this was going to be a series, or we pitched it as a series. So we sent a option for a issue breakdown, and then kind of like a bullet point breakdown for if it was going to be an OGN, because when they sent us an email, they were like, yeah, we're kind of interested in this. How would you feel if it was a graphic novel? We were like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And then like immediately sent them like, this could be what it would look like as a graphic novel. And I think we had talks with Rodrigo, but I don't know if it was really like, because I think it was pretty locked in, like what we had. And of course, if Rodrigo was like, I think this might have worked better, or whatever, it would have. He's drawn it, and it would have changed. And I think Sam and I would both not really have given a shit.
Yeah, he also. Yeah, we like, so I think we also do a good job. I hope it, like whenever we start working with somebody new, we kind of figure out what they do like some things, like it's like, do you not like to draw certain things? Do you really like to draw certain things? Like what are some things that you want to steer away from? But then for Rodrigo in particular, he was he did this like on his own. He was sending us photos of like period specific garb and like gas mask. Like he let us pick between like 3 or 4 different styles of gas mask that he thought that these guys would be wearing. And he was doing that really all on his own. You know, he wanted this to be like pretty accurate, which we also wanted to do, but we just hadn't. We were so dialed in on like what happens, you know, that we weren't really thinking about it. But like narratively, we have told him countless times because we're also still trying to, you know, we want to work with him for forever, so we're like working on like other things with him too. But we're always like, if you have any ideas, tell us. Like we'll do. If you think something would be cool at a part, we'll do it. I don't care. Sam and I, this is kind of a funny little story. Sam and I were doing this other pitch for another thing a while ago with a different artist who I think was also from Spain, but I think there was like a little bit more of a language barrier. So when he was reading our script, he gave us some pages back, and in the pages they like very, very much changed like the rules of the world that we had laid out with like some of the stuff. And instead of being like, oh, can we fix that? We were like, okay, that's actually cool. So let's rethink how this world works and make it fit the pages that they sent to us. So I don't think we would ever be like, you know, no, that idea is not right. We would, we're up for anything. So
yeah. There's also like, if you look at the top of our script, it's like a note to Rodrigo being like, dude, whatever you want to change, just do it. Like, we're totally cool with it.
Shout out Bendis for that. That's from, was it Words with Pictures or whatever? That's how Bendis does the script. So
Manny and I have a very similar relationship, but I don't write it down. It's just a very much like I just kind of am like, this is how I would do it, but like I trust you to interpret this as much like as however you would.
Like this is how I did it. Boom, you like that?
Yeah, it's like I just feel like such a piece of shit working with such a talented artist, honestly. Like I'm just like, dude, you turned this into that? Fuck me. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I thought of this idea on like a toilet. Like what is this, dude? Like, this is crazy.
So, okay, I have a real question, and like this is kind of like walking it back to like early inception of this idea, the pitch stage, things like that. Was this at any point intended to be a werewolf story? Like, was there ever an idea where you're like, I want to make this fucking werewolves, and then you kind of made them like these mutated gas freaks instead?
You know, I think
kind of.
Yeah, I think when we were initially talking about it, we were like, I think they were. I don't know if they were ever supposed to be like straight werewolves, but I think they were initially supposed to be like. I know we talked about like, oh, they're gonna be like these like gnarly fucking like cannibal people. Which they are, but I think it was like we upped it a little bit more when we were first talking about it.
Yeah.
I remember Sam and I talked like within the first week of us kind of going over this. I remember like being like, yeah, there should be a scene where they're like hyping each other up.
I think to what you're saying, I think there was a point where the line was a little more blurred a little bit, I guess, where like, you know, there was more of a crossover between like man and beast. But then when we kind of started to figure out what we were trying to say with the story, it kind of got like split a little more because, you know, there are just wolves in this story, and they kind of serve this purpose of, you know, this group of like these crazy like cannibal people are acting as if they are giving into their like animalistic, you know, natural instinct, and the actual like animals in this book are there to show that, you know, inherent instinct is like you know, compassion and not just like unbridled, unneeded violence. So there was a point where we kind of like split those things a little bit and kind of gave each their own camp. So I think it started out that way a little bit. Like we wanted them to be a little more like, I don't know, furry, I guess. I don't know. But they were like, no, dude, like, you know, let's make it a little, I mean, this story is already kind of crazy, but we'll make it a little more based in somewhat of reality and kind of split those things up. But yeah,
I think also like a big thing that we talk about, and I kind of bring it up anytime. Like it's just like something within horror that I'm really interested in, which is like the idea of like something kind of being on like the razor's edge of supernatural, of like maybe it is, maybe it isn't, kind of thing, where it's like, okay, so these guys think they're animals, they operate like animals. Doesn't matter if they're actually werewolves or not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if a guy stays up in the middle of the night, drinks blood out of people's necks, and can die with a stake in the heart, does it matter if he's like actually a vampire or not? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like, it's like an interesting thing. And it's like when I read or watch something that's horror, it's when the content is kind of like, it just goes up to supernatural, but doesn't pass through that door. I think it's really cool and interesting, and I like that's kind of what I gravitate towards.
I really like the restraint that you all kind of have with this book, and like a lot of the, I want to say ambiguity, but just kind of muddiness and grossness of like the content thematically. It's just I saw this cover and I didn't look anything into it. I knew nothing about it, and I was either thinking werewolves like dog soldiers or like biting dog, like man-eating dogs. And then I read the book and had a completely different takeaway, which was a good thing.
Yeah,
hell yeah,
that's sick. That's awesome.
Dog soldiers is just one of my favorites.
I'm right there with you, Kev. Like I came into this with no current background into what's going on, and originally this turned into. It's so funny that Sam Freeman brought up the Dracula comparison, because it is kind of a slow burn in the beginning. Like you get a lot of just character work with Barrow and kind of building what he is and what he could be and what the group wants him to be, and they kind of give him the opportunity. It's like, give in to that temptation. You can do it, and he immediately denies it. But through circumstances, has to kind of betray that initial like fight. He's like, I'm not going to take a life. I'm not going to do what you guys want. But then to kind of keep himself secure, ultimately, I mean, we already brought the knife through the neck thing. He does take a life. And at that point, he's left with a decision. Do I go back and join the Hounds, or do I, ultimately say, no, this is just, I've done it once. I regret ever doing it. I'm going to completely push back on everything. So and at that point, like, you have that pivotal moment with the character, and then you guys just go apeshit. And I love the fact that it's just like, as soon as that happens, you guys put the freaking pedal to the floor.
Yeah.
And we're just like in the shit for the rest of this book. And I absolutely love the fact that we've had all this wonderful character work, and now it's like, all right, now you got to put up or shut up, and let's see what happens. It was fantastic. At that point, I loved it. And I wanted to, I'll dive into this. I want to give Manny a chance to talk, but I definitely want to understand more about like your work with Justin Birch, your letter, and I'll ask some questions about that later. But I want to turn it over to Manny before I get too into more questions on the lettering side.
Well, really quick, the fact that you bring up that scene where, again, that knife stabbing scene, that was, as we were kind of talking about the idea of what this would be, that was, like, I think for me, the idea we had where it kind of started to get a little real, where it's like, okay, we can see an arc now. Like, I think I know what this is supposed to kind of be.
Yeah.
And talking again about how this started out as we were originally pitching this as like a series, and they wanted us to turn it into a graphic novel. One of the biggest challenges, I think, for us, or at least for me, was on how to pace it. Because when you end like a single, you can conceivably time can pass. Like you can have things take a break, breathe, pick it back up in like a month and see, like, maybe something has happened off screen, But in this, it kind of felt like, I know for me, I was so hyper focused on this. It was just like how quickly things were were happening and being like, is it justified that he has had this change already? You know, it kind of feels like one bad night for Barrow, where originally it's supposed to be like a couple weeks of shit happening, you know, like a little more spread out. So I'm glad that it still kind of has that feeling, because that was one of the, like, for me, I was like, I know that once it was done and it was going to like print, Sam and I would be talking about it like, all right, it's about to come out. I hope people like it. And my thing was always like, I hope the pacing's okay. Like, I hope it like, it doesn't seem like what this is art, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm glad that you felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think also the scene of when he does kill the woman was a way longer scene. It had way more like, it was a really long journal entry, and it was like this whole thing where he's kind of like rummaging through the house, and
That was going to be like an issue on its own. That part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was him rummaging through the house and kind of like seeing things that have been like, oh, like a real person lived here, not just like a casualty of war. And we had to parse it down. One, because it was an OG, because it changed to a graphic novel, but also it's just like, I just think of like that scene in particular is totally like the crux of the whole story, and it's like where, like you said, where things kind of turn, and just kind of having the thing of like, oh, I just killed this woman, so like that's a wrap, you know?
Yeah.
Is like,
yeah, like that's the whole point. Like the whole like speech that the guy has at the end is kind of what we were trying to tell at that point. Just kind of being like, no matter what, you know, if you're in this, you're a part of the wound that a war causes. No matter how pure your intention is, like, it can touch you. You can do something fucking terrible, no matter how much. You know, to somebody who is completely like, who is unintended, who is supposed to be separate. Like, you can take everything away from them, and that's kind of this moment that Barrow had where he's like, the whole thing is fucked. So I'm gone. I might as well take all these people with me, because there's no way I'm going back, and I'm gonna live a life after this. So
yeah, that part with the ramping up was crazy to me. I mean, like that whole scene where it's just building up, he's fighting the woman and stuff. I was like, oh no, I know it's gonna happen. And then it happens, man. And then like him putting like the wine bottle onto her right next to her head. I was like, oh man, what a dark touch, and it just blends in so well for the other soldiers checking out the place. I was like, wow.
That was kind of a thing too, that how quickly he could be like, I'm gonna cover this up. You know what I mean? Like, he just, his instinct was to like, you know, he was in like just like survival mode, and it was his like survival mode in that place is like fucking sinister, and he was like, "There's not, dude, I can't go on after this."
Yeah, it's like he like desecrates her, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like makes her like an embarrassment. It just like embarrasses her, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just to cover his
there
tracks.
It's
crazy.
Yeah. When we were writing this, I remember I got like really hyper focused on Animorphs. Remember me like
sending at these fucking covers.
These like really long text stamp.
Yeah.
And just being like, we gotta do something like Animorphs.
I will say, we were talking, and this 100% goes both ways. We were talking about, are there ever things that like Rodrigo wants to do that we're like, maybe not? Sam and I have things that we both want to do that the other is like, I don't know, dude. Like, my thing is, I just want, I fucking love the Punisher, and I love like ultra violent comics. So I'm always like, what if this person like blew up? Like, I don't know, like out of nowhere. And then Sam would be like, what if like, I don't know, something else? And then the other person has to kind of be like, does that fit?
Dude, mine is always like, and I feel like I like won in Hound. I feel like
somebody getting eaten.
It's always someone being like, dude, and then they get eaten.
People eating people is a really fucking great touch. I mean, it's just always visceral and fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
But there was a thing in Animorphs, because I was like so like locked in with it. But there's like, all right, you guys gotta like, join me on this, but
we're coming with you on this journey.
Okay, there's like a thing where one of the like main girls. Those books are fucking crazy. One of the main girls at the very end, she's like kind of their like crazy guy in the group. They like send her in to be like, just like fuck people up. And how her arc ends is she goes on like a suicide mission because she's like, if I come out on the other side of this war, I'm gonna like want to kill more because I think it's awesome. So I gotta like die. And so she meets God, and she's like, was the killing worth it? And God's like, yeah.
What?
Dude,
It's in the Animorphs book.
Swear to God.
Dude, that's fucking rad. I should revisit those books.
That was one of those things where Sam was like, "Yo, have you ever read this shit?" And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He was explaining it to me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was crazy. It's kind of in this. Like, it kind of makes its way in. Yeah.
The thing is like if that was like actually just the plot of a comic book, it would be like groundbreaking and like fucking everyone would talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the comic book space like allows you to do that crazy pulp shit. Like absolutely bonkers.
If Grant Morrison wrote that, you would not bat an eye.
Oh,
you'd be like, for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to like walk it back just a little bit to talk about the pacing of this book, and it's interesting that it's the hardest fucking thing about comic book writing, really, is like pacing and making every moment and beat hit. And like truly, like I did think the pacing of this book was fucking wild. Like it just kind of rubber banded from like slow intensity, like slow burns to like frenetic. We're just gonna throw fucking 10 pages of plot into 2 pages and like see what sticks. And like a lot of decisions being made where I was like, wait, what the fuck? Okay, well, now we're on to the next thing, and he's running for his life, and holy fuck.
Yeah.
But like I do really think that it in the end does not matter. Like if there are pacing issues because of one, the emotional weight of your kind of climactic scene with him killing the woman in the house, and you really fucking stuck the landing to make it all make sense with the ending piece of young William kind of killing the bird and having his father explain what the fuck just happened. Like I really think that it's a lesson to learn in comics that like you can kind of be bananas and all over the place, but if you stick the fucking landing, then it's like exquisite. You know what I mean? Like I feel that way about a lot of my favorite comic books where it's like it doesn't really matter what happens in act 2 if you're going off a 3-act structure. It's just like stick that fucking landing and everyone's going to remember what you did. And I think you guys really fucking stuck the landing here.
Thank you. Yeah, that scene with the dad and the kid, and then the last thing was it definitely us kind of be like this is what we're trying to do.
It's like recency bias. It's the last fucking thing I'm gonna like
yeah.
I'm going to experience with this book and kind of close the book on those moments and be like, fuck, that's what happened. And then like it's when you revisit things that you can kind of start to pick it apart and go, oh, if that's what they were going for in the end, I see why this mattered or why this decision was made back here. But you aren't fucking going along with that because the entire time you're flipping through a book, you're like, what the fuck is going to happen next?
Yeah.
Which is where you should be. You should want to know what the fuck is going to happen next. So,
yeah. I think also too, it's like, I mean, this is the first graphic novel that Sam and I ever have written, and I think it was like, I mean, both of us are like really familiar with like, okay, this issue is 22 pages, and then something that has to happen at 11, and then there's got to be these page turns or whatever. And I think structuring in that, and also it's a pretty short. 80 pages is a short graphic novel. It's less than 4 issues, and I think framing in that and being like, what is like the most shit we can put in here that like makes sense. And there was like, I feel like there was like so much shit. Like I remember like writing this and like hopping on like a Discord call and just being like feeling like we were like rewriting the same 5 pages over and over and over again. So I don't know where I was going with that.
No, it's like that is really difficult, and like even Manny and I are kind of working on a book where we're like constantly restructuring, repacing, and reformatting what's going on. And like that challenge is fucking really unique to comics. Like how to make these beats stick and like how to time all of these moments to make sure they all land the way they're supposed to.
Right. And I think that also ties into why I think Sam and I work well writing as a tandem, because I think we both come into it with like the thing that we are focused on accomplishing, where like again my thing always is like when we sit down with like a new idea or anything, I'm always like, okay, why does A lead to B? Why does B justify C? How does C also branch off to D? I'm trying to like build the roadmap, and like Sam is like adding the flavor in it to make it like worth traveling. You know what I mean? So I think that's where it kind of sings a little bit, because like they're, as I'm like trying to solve this like math problem, being like, no, why would they be here? Why would whatever? Saying like, what if like while this is happening, it looks like this or something, just has like an idea to it where I'm like, that makes it like so much fucking cooler than it is in my head, and that will branch off into this other thing. So being able to like have that person to collaborate those ideas and kind of like build off whatever your weak suit or your strong suit is, whatever, that's kind of where this comes from. Whereas I was in this like driving myself crazy, being like, could this happen already? Should she already be saying that? Whatever. I think he was like, whenever we would nail down a piece, he would he would like do the thing I'm trying to do by making it make sense in like an artistic way.
Dude, I think there's also so many times that like if we are kind of initially talking about an idea, like one person will come to the other person, and so many of my ideas are like, dude, what if there's like these like tunnels that are connected underneath like cities? And he's like, okay, but like, what's the story? And I'm like, I don't know. But like, what?
I love that. So when you were kind of working on Hound, like, did this idea start with like just kind of cool, almost like genre and concept premise, or was it like, I want to write this story about how fucking war turns people into animals? Like, is it theme or is it concept? Is it characters? Is it story? Like, where does it start and how does it flesh out?
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. It started with AI. Let's just say it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me explain. I'm being dead serious. It started with AI that we did not know was AI, right? I saw a tweet on Twitter that was about, obviously, or X, bro. It was like really old-timey photos that looked like they were taken on like straight up like camera one, at World War I, where and the tweet was like, there are like recounts of soldiers who were like going so crazy in war they felt like they saw werewolves coming through the like trenches, and they were like these like, it was just like these shadows of like these wolf-shaped people in like a World War I trench. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I was freaking out looking at it. And I sent it to Sam like immediately, and I was like, dude, this is a book. I don't know what it is, but this is a book. And then like we start cooking, and in like 15 minutes we have like a rough like this is like what it would be, And then I go back and I like look at that tweet again, and I look at the whatever, and it's like, these images were crafted on Midjourney, and I was like, oh fuck, dude, god damn it. But it like it did like start the idea of like, that's like a cool, like those two flavors complement each other in the pot, like what is this thing? So yeah, and then it just kind of went from there.
I think we had the name too, like within the first like those first 15 minutes. I think like
you guys,
wow,
titles are so hard.
Dude, bro, I gotta be so for real. That's my fucking like mutant power, dude. I'm like, dude, I got it.
Every book we've done, it's or idea we've had, it's been his title. I'm like, dude, I don't know. It is Batman. I don't know, what is it called? I have no idea.
The titles are so hard.
Yeah, I got you. Dude, send me
Freeman, you just need to make a business out of that, man.
Yeah.
Just I'll make a consulting fee on that.
Dude, I got you.
So what I hear, number one, is we got Romesburg, who's like the head chef, It's like, dude, I know like all the ingredients need to go into it, and then Freeman's like the sous chef that brings the umami. So you hear people like say, "Oh, you got that umami flavor, man. That's like that little extra spice."
Dude, I think it's like Sam like writes the menu, and I'm like, what if this thing tasted like shit? You know, like,
Boom.
Dude, I'm the menu, boys.
I'm the head of nothing. If we were gonna go food terms, have you guys seen The Founder?
Yes.
That movie? We're the original McDonald brothers. And
yeah. Okay, got you. Yeah.
And then Roy Kroc is Aftershock Comics, dude. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think like, because that is like for real somewhere where I really struggle is that like I'll get like this really I'll lock really hard onto like this like one specific image, and I'm like, how, like what can be built around that to like service that image, or like one like genre, and I'm like, oh, I just like want to do that, and it has to be about this like one thing. And you know, with this, it was like, I don't know, like Sam is just like really good at the roadmap, and I just like have no, like I just have like no, I can't see the end. You know what I mean? Or I can see the end, but I don't know how to get there ever. And I think like there's been times where I'll be like, I don't know, like I'm someone that gets like really stuck on like there's something else we were working on, and I was like, dude, he has to be in like the Kennedy car. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I was like, he's got to be in the car that like JFK died in, and he was like, it's just like I just get so like locked into that shit, and I think yeah, so that's like where like he was saying it like works best is that he can feel like the long game, and I just get, I don't know, I just like my fucking like lizard brain just is like, but what if he's in the house? You know.
I mean, every great like fucking creative relationship needs that push and pull, that yin and yang to like work. I mean, like in the most basic terms, like your Lennon McCartneys, right? Like John Lennon's like this fucking complete dickhead, and Paul McCartney was like, but what if it was actually a good song? And then John Lennon's like, yeah, we should do that. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have the peanut butter and the jelly. No one's out here eating just fucking peanut butter sandwiches like a fucking psycho.
Whoa, that's me. I eat peanut butter sandwiches. You want
Manny,
your
shut the
fucking mouth?
fuck up.
Wait. Manny, do you eat straight peanut butter sandwiches?
Yeah. Yep.
Let me tell you
I'm
something.
talking peanut butter on toast. I'm talking there's 2 pieces of bread, peanut butter in the middle,
peanut butter,
nothing else.
thick peanut butter.
Manny, we're gonna take this offline.
Manny, I have never fucked with jelly a day in my life.
My man.
Not even one day.
Peanut butter banana sandwich, peanut butter and honey, nothing. Just fucking peanut butter.
Peanut butter, man.
Crazy.
Just natural peanut butter, 2 pieces of fucking Italian bread. I'm sending it.
Jelly just makes my bread soggy, dude. I don't want that.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're using too much jelly.
No, I'm not.
It's just
I one time fucked with a peanut butter fluff sandwich. Get that shit out of my face. Never again.
Yeah, dude, I tried that. No, not for me.
Dude,
not for me.
Peanut butter and apple butter on a sandwich is crazy.
That sounds awesome.
I think I'd do that.
Apple butter is just jelly. What the fuck? Like, why are we calling it butter?
It's apple jelly.
Apple jelly. I mean, I had that recently. It's pretty delicious.
I'm dead serious. When I was like 25 or something, and I went to my mom's house for lunch, and she was like, "I'm gonna make you a sandwich." And I was like, "Okay, hell yeah!" And she pulled out the like peanut butter, and she asked me if I wanted jelly, and I drove home. I was so offended. She asked me. I was like, "Never mind, just cancel whatever we had planned."
Never seen her again.
How would you ever ask me that? Brock says jelly sucks. Hell yeah, dude. I think about it every day, man. Every day, dude.
Brock's on our side.
One of us.
My boy.
I want to throw something else out there, and because we've got the question in chat, I was also wondering about this too, just because well, number one, Manny kicks ass at like freaking putting sound effects in and all kinds of shit into it. But and I'm such a freaking novice at this, but knowing that, you guys had Justin Birch like helping with your lettering, how much of that is actually in the script? Like, how much do you guys call out what's on the page to say, I want this built into it? And it really, in my opinion, when you're going through Hound, is the unsung hero, especially when you get to like the massive chase scene at the end. There is so much work that I feel is just added to when you start having this chase at the end, and you've got the sound effects coming up onto the page and just building all this cacophonous noise in the background. Like, the lettering, it's just, I don't recognize it much up until that point, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like,
it goes so well with the art too. Like, it matches the Mark making with that.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Dude, I think in the script there's like sound effects. We like wrote in sound like blam. we wrote it in, but I mean, all of that, like the design of that and how that looks, is just Justin being like a fucking pro, and like just being like a total ace. Like, I have, because I think Sam has only worked with Justin, right?
I only he has done everything I've ever done. However, I'm looking at the inked pages right now. Most of that is Rodrigo. So the page that you're on right now, or go back one where the wolf is like jumping up. So everything other than the at the in the middle of the left one, that's Rodrigo. He just draws it into his page.
Dang.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
Awesome.
we I think in those pages we have like we're like, let's throw some sporadic like chomping noises, or like a wolf is growl, but. And that's one of my favorite things that I think like Daniel Warren Johnson does so well. He like integrates his sound into like the movement of the panel.
Yeah.
And I think Rodrigo does it like really well here, where even like the sound effects look gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
that
think
again is him.
He
Yeah,
uses
Manny and I-
gross sounds like gorg,
It just complemented the art so well, and that makes
Yeah.
Rodriguez doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not to say though that Birch is not like the greatest like letterer ever. I don't think, if I ever have a choice, I'm not gonna work with anybody else. He just like, I think where he like really sings too is, and like when I go back and read it, it feels seamless going from the opening speech to the handwritten journal entries to like the way that the bubble changes when the hounds take off their mask and it's their actual voice. The bubble changes, and it's just like, we didn't tell him to do any of that. He just like, he felt it. Like they just speak kind of like normally, and then once those masks, it's like way more scratchy and dark. Like the bubble gets crazier. And he's like, he does that all on his own, and then incorporating the journal into it is like incredible. I think he did it so well.
He's just like an ace. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I never
actually,
word from him.
You'll meet him at Heroes. He's at Heroes every year. Yeah, he just walks around. He's like the coolest dude ever. But it's also another thing that he does that I didn't even notice until I got my like comps, and I was like, I flipped through the handwriting changes. So like Barrow's handwriting is one, but then at the end, whenever the guy writes like his like excerpt, it's a different handwriting.
Yeah.
So he like went crazy with it. He was
I had no
awesome.
idea.
I love that touch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different handwriting.
Well, and that's what kept me guessing too, because I'm looking at the handwriting. I'm like, is that the same dude?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Different guy.
Right.
But yeah, man, he was awesome.
I do have an unrelated question, just looking at the lettering. Was the German always intended to be in German? Or what was the decision making there? Because I mean, honestly, it's just like, that kind of disorientation, that like what the fuck is going on. I do like I took German in college, so I understand a little bit of what's going on, but like I know it doesn't matter whether or not you understand the German.
Yeah.
But like, was that a decision y'all made early on, or how did that happen?
You take it from Luther Strode. That's what I want to know.
Yeah, so it was written in the script as German. I think yeah, so it was written in the script, and it's just like, because the idea is that it's just like you're following Barrow around, and it's just what he sees and how he feels. So he's basically, you know, just like surrounded by people, and he doesn't know what they're saying, so he's just like freaking the fuck out. But there was some reviews of this book that like I can't believe I had to fucking like go to Google Translate for it.
What?
And
What?
I
You
think
don't have to go to Google Translate.
I just think it's just funny. Like they went to Google Translate and it's about like nothing.
They're just talking about coffee, but
Yeah.
I think people got mad at it, but it's also like that's kind of like the point though, is they're talking about something like innocuous, and Barrow is like shitting himself because he has no fucking idea, and you're not supposed to know either, because if you went to Germany and Germans walked by speaking a language, you wouldn't know if they were like, oh, we saw an American guy go this way, or we saw a British,
Yeah.
he just hears German and he's like he's freaking out. Like if you knew what they were saying, the intensity of that scene would like go away.
No, it's really funny, honestly. He's like, "Did you have the coffee?" And he's like, "Nah, it tastes like shit." That's like,
that's all they're talking about. Yeah,
it's fucking great.
Yeah, and I think like I don't know.
I got a kick out of it because I didn't know the German word for murder was murder. Like that was just funny to me. I was like, oh, phonetically, it's just murder. That's fucking awesome. I get it.
What does that say?
That's at least what Google says. We just Googled it.
Oh, you just
German.
translated it? I was gonna ask about that. Yeah. Did you have a German to translate it?
We Google Translate, typed in what I wanted it to say, copy, pasted it into the script document, moved on.
I didn't know you were a linguist.
Yeah, German wasn't in budget, dude. Budget for a German.
Can I ask you guys a question as like people that read it?
Yeah.
No.
Is it clear that the guy at the end lives in that lady's house? Like he realizes that that's his house.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
No.
I missed
We
that.
wanted it to be kind of hidden. Like
Yeah.
I just looked. So there's a scene where Barrow is like coming around the corner of the house. I think a little bit right before he goes inside. And I think I think Rodrigo took that exact panel at the end when the guy comes out of his house. I think.
Shit.
And we wanted it to kind of be like a hidden like little thing where he's like, oh fuck, like this happened in my because like he lived.
Oh wow, there it is.
He lives right next to the place. Like it's like conceivable, and he drives past like the Hound's house, and he looks at it like, what the fuck, But
I caught that house. I didn't catch that he was living in.
I had no fucking idea.
We wanted to be. It was like a really, really subtle thing that like he lived in the house and he was like, "What the fuck, man?"
That's news to me, dude.
You didn't know that?
No, dude.
Sam keeps talking about we wanted this, and the other Sam's like, "What?
Yeah,
What the fuck did we want?"
I don't know. But that's fucking sick, dude. That makes.
I think it's in the script. It's not. Let me
Dude,
look.
you planned that shit. That's crazy.
Dude.
That sounds like such a Freeman idea too, and Freeman had no idea.
So yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, right here. Page 78, panel 3. The man walks away from his house, revealing it to be the same house where Barrow killed the homeowner. It's lush, overgrown, and beautiful.
Writer doesn't know what's actually in the script. No, I've been there so many times.
Dude, I had no idea. That's crazy, dude.
Like, wait a minute, did I put that in there?
Dude, I have that with fucking dialogue. Manny will just like roughly letter some dialogue I wrote in a first draft. I'm like, dude, that dialogue's really great. Did you punch that up? He's like, no, you wrote that. I'm like, oh,
doesn't that make you feel sick? You're like, oh, I think I can do this.
Dude, there was we were talking about something like last week, and we were talking about an idea, and we were trying to like figure out what this guy looked like. And Sam was like, "So like for this character, for like this guy named John, like is that how he looks?" And I'm like, "Who's that, dude? Who the fuck are you talking about?"
Like I was like, it's like the main guy for this next thing we're working on. It was so funny. Oh my god.
I get that. It's also because I write like 5 projects ahead of what Manny is drawing because it takes him so long, and I just want to like have a backstock. And I'm like, so I'm thinking for this idea, and I like start pitching him, and he's just like, for what book? What the fuck are you talking about?
Like 5 other things going on, man. What's going on?
It's just because I'm fucking stupid, dude.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, that's sick.
Yeah.
Fucking A. So are you guys, so your new ideas, is that with Mad Cave, or we can't announce that? We can't disclose that? What's going on? How are we feeling about the working relationship with Mad Cave?
Dude, Mad Cave rules.
I would work with them forever.
Yeah, they are. I mean, at this point, not with Mad Cave. I don't think we haven't. The 3 things that we have kind of in the hopper right now, we haven't pitched out to anyone yet. They're still kind of like, we're still kind of cooking on them. But dude, I mean, if there's anyone from Mad Cave here, dude, we got some good yeah. But
yeah, there's a very behind the scenes question from Brock on here. I don't know if you guys want to answer this, but Brock did ask, is there any hope of Executioner's Tax getting released back to you anytime soon? Or what would you have, what would we have to have a public meltdown like that with what happened with Scout?
Dude, so for
behind the
that,
scenes.
right? So for that book, it I don't think that would happen because they're going through bankruptcy hearings. And this is super like Scout somebody was just like this company. No, I legally so my book got the rights back from Scout, and in our rights reversal there's a paragraph that it's like, if you badmouth Scout you owe us $1,000. So I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of people on Twitter saying shit. It's getting written up in places like Sketched and Comics Beat and CBR. So
yeah, just read that and you'll know what's going on. But I think the thing with the Aftershock guys, which like it fucking sucks, is I think the longer the court process goes along, I think the more like government assistance they get, and they're trying to make it last as long as possible. So so much like it's been what, like 2 years now of like, can we have it back? Can we have it back? Like we're kind of just waiting for like whenever the terms of the contract expire at this point, because it's like, I don't know if we're ever, and we've even been like the book like accrued debt, like they obviously that they didn't pay us or the guy that we got to draw it, which is such a travesty because it's like the best thing he's ever drawn. Like it's the artist of Children of the Grave, my boy Giole Filippo, and he like,
dude, he's so good.
He went insane. Like we have 3 of the 5 books are like in the can on a Google Drive, done. Like we can't do anything with them just because it's in like court limbo. But like it's been like 2 years of like, it'll be done by this month, and we should be out of this by this month, and we should be out of it by this month. But it's even like a thing where if the way that they did things is we didn't have a lot of say in stuff, so they hired like a letterer from them. They hired like a colorist for like themselves, and those guys did work on the book, and they were kind of like, if we give you the rights back, you also take on all of the debt to the book. For you guys, it's not really that bad because it's like it's just owed to you, but you will have to pay out the work that was done on like the lettering so far and the coloring so far, and we had like a logo, and Sam and I were like, sure, yes, we will pay it. I don't give a shit, please. And still, it's like I think the last we heard is it's going to be April, but then we also heard it was going to be March. Literally every month we've heard it might be this month, and it gets pushed another month. So
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I think that book is like sick, and I think that like whenever it comes out, I'm gonna be really proud of it. If and when it comes out, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is like a thing I'm like super fucking proud of. And yeah, I mean, it was like the first comic contract that I've ever signed was for this book. It was like way before HOUND. It was like before Basic Instinct. It was like anything. So it's been in motion for a really long time. So hopefully, yeah.
That's fucked. So my follow-up question to all of that is, when are you gonna start doing creator-owned books?
Well, dude, so that's the thing is technically we own it, but they own the publication rights to it, so we can't take it anywhere else. And what's like such the bummer is like Mad Cave did want it, and we were like, no, we're gonna go with this other route. And then since then, though, Mad after the whole like aftershock drama happened, Mad Cave was like, as soon as you get cleared, we'll just do it. So it has a home whenever it's done.
That's sick.
That's awesome.
Whenever it's done, that's where it's gonna go. But it's just like I've done so much like loophole. I'm like, is it just like the title they had? Can we just change the name? Can we just make it like execution? Take away the and we can do it. Like what's they don't own anything because they haven't paid for anything. So and it's just like everyone's like not wanting to like touch it until it's like done. But
what a weird spot.
And I think I think Mad Cave is like or not Mad Cave. HOUND is like technically a creator-owned book. I'm pretty sure we have the rights are split like 3 ways between Rodrigo, Sam, and I.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the same thing where they own the publication rights, but story characters, everything like that is ours.
It's why in theory it should be easy to give it back to us, but because there's like a court hearing involved, it's annoying. Because with the whole Scout thing, like Scout, we got it back in like a weekend. It was just like a tweet came out and we were like, hey, can we have it back? And they're like, yeah. So
yeah, we're fucked.
So good. Hey, good news with that. There's going to be a Children of the Grave trade coming finally, which is sick. Sumerian's gonna put it out.
Okay, so, fuck yeah. Last time I talked to Ben, there was some uncertainty, but that was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's gonna be Sumerian. We haven't like signed anything yet because we have to like basically I just hit the guy up like, hey, this is done. It's no cost risk to you. Like it's everything's paid for, done. Would you just like put it in previews? And he was like, yeah, just send me the PDF whenever, and we'll do it. So we're just waiting on. We're gonna I think do the design for it ourselves. So like once that part is done, we're just gonna send them, and then they'll be able to print it, which is sick because I want one. You know, we've been waiting forever for them, so
everybody wants.
It'd be rad.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, I wish.
Hey, do you still have all 5, 6 issues of that? How many was it?
I think was it 5? I know I have them somewhere.
I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it was 5.
We'll have Brock tell us in chat.
Yeah.
If you got, I don't have. I think I have like 2 of them. I don't have any of them.
Yeah, Ben and Austin just like threw a bunch at us because we gave him like a shit ton of the Renown books, and he was like, "Do you guys like want some of these?" We were like, "Yeah, fucking."
Yeah.
I think it was when we were at Heroes Con, when we all met at Heroes Con that one.
Yeah.
Ben was just like,
dude,
oh, take this.
Was that like the most wild night ever?
Dude, that was our first time like going to Heroes Con and hanging out with like the big guys, the big boys and girls of the comics industry, and it was amazing. It was. Dude, I met my heroes.
Last year
and it was
we had
amazing.
like a wildly different experience that was equally sick.
Yeah.
Where like at the auction, I was like talking to Jake Smith, and then like Aaron Conley came up, and he was like, "We're all going to this other bar. You want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah." Can I take Manny? And he was like, "Yeah, bring that guy." And then we went, and it was like us, Aaron Conley, Andrew McLean, and fucking Jake Smith and Marco Ferrari, and we just got like fucking wasted. Yeah, it was a kick-ass time. Very wildly different than the schmoozing and schmaltzing, but.
You guys like were so nice to bring me along on that too, and what the hell am I doing? I'm sitting across from Jake Smith and Andrew McLean talking about fucking Godzilla, and it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
Just so
Dude,
cool.
we're going crazy this year. This year
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna roll super deep. It's gonna be fucking awesome. The craziest experience for me on that first like Heroes Con that we all met. I mean, obviously, like we all met at the bar, and then like fucking Daniel Warren Johnson just walks up and he's like, "What's up, dudes?" and just hangs out with us the whole night.
Yeah.
Scotty Young bought me a beer drunkenly.
I
But
bought
then,
Andrew
like,
McLean a beer too, and he was just like, "Thanks, man. I
Dude.
couldn't get her attention this whole time."
Yeah, dude. But like, I think I started talking to Trad Moore there, and it was right after Silver Surfer Black came out,
Yeah.
and like he was asking me about like our books, which was so sick. And then the next day, it was right when Silver Surfer Black came out, and like you couldn't get it. I think it was on like the 5th printing or something, because it was like right after Stan died, and like that was his favorite. That was so it was like the first like Silver Surfer after like he died, and it was him and Donny Cates, and I like met him that next day at the con. It was like, "Hey, dude, I just want to say thank you for like talking to me. Here's a copy of my book. I just want you to have it. You don't have to read it, whatever." And he was like, "Oh, dude, hold on." And he like signed a copy of like first printing Silver Surfer Black #1. I was like, "Here, just take it." But I have it now, and I was like, "Dude, do you know this is worth like a shitload of money? Like, you shouldn't be doing this." It was like the coolest thing ever, and it's like those shows are like why. I'm like, everybody, let's just go, because you don't realize how like accessible everything and everybody like nobody's like, I haven't met a single person yet who's like too cool,
Right.
like who's like, "Oh, who are you? You're like an artist trying to like succeed. Fuck you, man." Like that doesn't.
I have heard that
doesn't
about
happen.
certain people, like a lot of these artists and writers
sure it
were
is
talking
there.
shit. I won't bring them up here on stream, but like it was mad funny to hear that, just because like
Weird.
again, how approachable literally everybody was.
Yeah.
Just like
It's
blew
always
my mind.
room for one more.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm gonna be the comics villain, dude. I'm gonna be like, anyone that approaches me, I'm gonna be like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude."
You talk a mean game, Freeman, but I don't believe it.
Donny Cates did block me on Twitter.
Oh.
There you go. We had that question in chat. Is Donny Cates nice in person?
No way.
Is
Who
Donny
is
Cates
this?
nice in person? Depends who you ask.
This
I
is
think
someone
that's
who
Donny.
knows.
I think that's Donny Cates, who he's hiding under a pseudonym.
Yeah, he's hiding under Eddie Brock.
Decay Dance is somebody, dude. I got in like internet beef with Donny Cates because he was like tweeting about how it was like wrong to like steal anything, but especially steal comic books. And I was like, okay, what happens if somebody can't afford comic books? Like they should just be like, they shouldn't be able to enjoy things. Only people that have access to things should enjoy things. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, I grew up poor, and I knew that you like didn't steal things. And I was like, didn't you go to SCAD, like the super fucking expensive college? Like, no, you didn't. And then he like tweeted me, because I think I had like comic book writer in my bio, and he tweeted at me, oh, you think you're a writer? That's cute. And then he blocked me, and I have it screenshotted. And I'm waiting for the day that I'm like,
remember
I don't
this?
know, I get like I get to do like a 1-issue crossover and like a fucking like some C like a Stiltman book. And I'm like, hey Donnie, boom. I did it, motherfucker.
Man,
I am cute, aren't I?
Oh yeah, so this person just wrote he literally wears like fingerless gloves. I did make fun of it. In the tweet he blocked me for, I did say that he looked stupid wearing his fingerless gloves. This is somebody.
dude, that's so funny. Also, Noah Funky Flash Dan, can you help me start a Twitter war with Dan Slott? Literally, happily, I do love Superior Spider-Man, but Dan Slott's a clown. Let's go.
He does, dude. He doesn't.
Start a Twitter
He's
beef
got
with
like
Zeb Wells.
Do you remember that beef when he like that one Marvel documentary came out where he was talking about what was he writing like Iron Man like 2000 or something? I forget what it was, or like 2099 or whatever. But he like straight up is like, yeah, I just come up with like the plot and I have like a scripter, like a guy that writes everything.
What?
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's on something.
Going after Zeb Wells is punching below the belt at this point. Don't kick him while he's down. Stop. He's already dead.
That's right.
Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Well, so this has kind of got just into hangout time. So, I don't want to go over every single piece of art that you have behind you, Romesburg, but you have an amazing collection of stuff hanging up on your there. Is there just a prize piece? Not saying, well, I mean, on top of that, include your home address and hours that you typically house.
No, I don't have anything like that cool, I guess, to like I would say other people. But what I do have that I love is after Ben and I finished Children of the Grave, Giole sent us some pages, so I have like some original.
Hell yeah.
In the issue 1, there's like this big splash that I got to that he sent for me. So
hell yeah,
that's awesome.
Those are my babies. But then, Daryl Banks, he did the Green Lantern for Forever, and he did a variant for one of my like my first comic book ever when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So, and he gave me that, which was super sick. But that's it. Like, really, I just have just like shit I think is cool. I saw there's a Punisher print up there where it looks like he's in like Vietnam, and I was like, that's hard, so I bought it.
I did want to ask you about Punisher, because I know you love Punisher. Was any of the kind of epistolary journal entry structure of Hound like a nod or inspired by war journal books?
Dude, he's in everything. He's in everything I do.
Fair.
That's my boy. That's my like I've made it thing. Like if I ever get to do that, I know Sam can go at length for the fucking Shadow, and I'll let him do it. But I'm like, I have my Punisher pitch written up. It's called Punisher Last Mag. It's going to be crazy. So
Last Mag. That's great.
Yeah, dude.
That's great, dude. I grew up just like that was one of my first like super gory like books was a Punisher book from like the IMAX line on Marvel, and I remember going to the comic shop. My mom got me this book, right? And I'm like flipping through it when I'm in the back seat of the car, and I'm like, I should not have this book, and this is awesome.
It's fucking awesome. I love him. I love like so many things. I think has gotten it incorrect, but which is like, that's not the right word, but it's like when it's right and it's good, dude. It's so good.
Yeah.
Me and Manny talk about the Punisher Xbox video game from like 2003, 2004.
I love that game when I was a kid, dude.
That's a big one for us.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro. Dude, the original Thomas Jane Punisher #1 movie is my favorite comic movie of all time.
Dude, I love that movie when I was a kid, man.
It's to this day, it's perfect. It's perfect. Man.
Oh man. Yeah, I love him too.
Yeah, Sam was Sword the Shadow like more than anything too. So those are our bucket list goals.
Dude, I would kill some. I mean, if no one would know, you ever seen that movie The Player?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you know how they kill like Vincent D'Onofrio, and like he sells the script, dude. If someone's like, dude, if someone like came up to me and was like, crazy, I'm writing the Punisher or I'm writing the Shadow. Dude, I'd just take the email.
Hell yeah. I'm about that.
Yeah.
I think honestly the best comic book movie is Darkman by Sam Raimi. That's #1.
The first time I saw that, because they used to play it on like Showtime really late at night or like Stars or something, and I remember sleeping on the couch because it was close to the toilet while I had like the flu as a kid, and like, I fell asleep with the lights on and woke up at like 3 a.m. and that was playing, and I remember just like being like, oh, like I feel so bad, like because it's like Raimi, like when like Raimi like cuts in really fucking hard, and like I just remember like it made me feel so fucking sick to watch that movie.
Dude, Raimi's camera movements, 10 out of 10. S tier, love it.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Awesome.
Okay, so I have a follow up. We're all comic book people here. What's your like? This is the #1 thing. Like if I ever got this, I did it.
Oh man. I don't know, man.
I don't know if it's Manny. You go first.
I don't know. I feel like if I get 1,000 people to buy my own shit, I think I'll feel good about it. I'm not really
Dude, hell
aiming
yeah.
to like work on a character, but if I had to choose, it would probably be like a one-off story of Spider-Man, because that
Dude, hell
is
yeah.
my first love. Was the Todd McFarlane issues like 306 or something. It was the one where he's jumping out of the green circle. First comic,
Hell yeah,
first
man.
comic,
Yeah.
first issue. Like, and then after
That's
that,
awesome.
I was like, I want to live in this. So if I could do
So
something
sick.
like that and make it like weird, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, Manny and I have a Spider-Man book in the chamber. It's just
Hell
like
yeah.
waiting to be made.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I told the last signing we did, I told Sam about this like cowboy Ghost Rider book I want to do and like how it ends.
Oh,
Dude, where it's
I want to be
Yeah.
with you.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, Manny will draw that book.
Yeah.
Tell me if you guys think this is cool, because maybe this is something we all like. Once we all make it, this is the thing we all like work on. Is like it's like this is the actual like creative team. Sam and I came up with this idea that I think is so sick. I want to do like a Gotham City book that's basically the plot of like the fucking, what is it, the Warriors, where it's like all of like the gangs of Gotham come to like this meeting, and like something goes wrong, and one of the gangs has to like travel across the fucking city to like safety back to their own place, while all the other gangs are going after them. But also out there is like fucking Batman, and he like shows up. I just want Batman to be like fucking terrifying,
Dude.
Like a
Dude.
slasher villain.
Yeah.
like show how scary Batman is to
Yeah.
like the run of the mill dude, you know?
That would be so
He's
good.
so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the perspective
want
of
that.
a gang member, dude. Like that would be amazing.
Like
Let's
imagine
do-
somebody's like dead to rights, like
Yeah.
another gang member has them, and then everyone starts freaking the fuck out, and they're like, "Yo, what?" And they turn, and it's fucking Batman, like long ear ass scary Batman.
Yeah,
You
dude,
shit
make
yourself.
all of Batman, dude.
Dude, here's my spin on that pitch. You do it. It's one gang. Something's gone horribly awry at this meeting of the gangs, and Batman is coming, but it's fucking Reservoir Dogs, and you know that this
Oh.
looming threat is coming, but it's just them trying to
yeah.
figure out who fucked up the plan and why
Yeah.
Batman is coming, and it's just that impending fear for fucking 12 issues. Like,
Dude, I think it was like initially it was like it's like a scarecrow gang and they like let off like a fear toxin.
Oh.
So they're like running back to the city, but it's like they're like anytime they see Batman, he looks like he's fucking like insane. You know?
Yeah, like a giant bat
Like
monster.
the Cthulhu Batman they just had, right?
Yeah.
have you guys read fucking Tom Kang's Human Target series?
Ooh,
No.
I started it.
Dude, there's an issue where he's convinced that Batman is coming to kill him. And it's just an issue of the paranoia and the fear of like, I have to run and hide here. No, Batman will know that I'm going to be there. Like, I'm fucked. And it's just like that, like playing the mental game of knowing Batman's going to fuck you up for a whole
It's like-
issue. So good.
Batman is like good guy Darth Vader, where there's like no scarier entity. Like it's like if you see him, you're fucked, dude.
It's
Like there's nothing you can do. Like,
He's like
that I
alien.
think is so sick. Yeah, dude, 100%. It's like if you are on the wrong side of him and you see him, it's curtains. Like, and I want something that really like plays into how fucking scary it would be to see Batman from like the other side of the coin. You know, being like, he's here to beat the fucking life out of me right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
See,
So
I
sad.
thought what they were gonna do when they started the Robin War, because I want to say it was like
Yeah.
2016. I was kind of hoping that you got like these low level Robin wannabes, and they'd have to take on all the different crime groups, but it did not pan that way, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude, that's so. Yeah. Somebody just said this in chat too. They were like, the part of the Matt Reeves Batman that works so well is that opening scene where like just shows like what the raw that so dude, I don't know if you guys liked that movie. I fucking loved that movie.
Yeah.
And it was the opening scene. It was just like the scene where all the like bad guys were like looking into a shadow, being like, "Well, fuck, Batman could be in there." Where I was like, "Dude, exactly. That's who he is, exactly." So yeah, shout out. This is somebody, dude. Who is Dick? Who is
know
Decay?
this person.
Fucking reveal yourself.
Yeah, you can DM us on Instagram or on the Discord. Just find us.
Yeah, dude.
Decay
It's
Dancy.
when I was a kid and I saw Jaws for the first time, I thought that the shark was gonna come up and bite my butt off. So that's what
Sitting on the toilet, right?
that's the same thing. Yeah,
On the beach.
and bite my butt off.
Dude, that's like the best. Like fucking Freddy Krueger, man. Like
Dude.
watching Nightmare on Elm Street as a way too young lad.
That terrified
and just
me.
like
Yeah.
falling asleep was gonna be the thing that did me
Yep.
in. Was like the nightmare of childhood, and that shit
Yeah,
is.
dude.
You got to have that real fucking looming threat at any given time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So sick.
Fucking Ben, what's your bucket list? I know I made it book. Tell me about it.
Dude, I don't. It's that one's tough. That one's tough. There's two things. One, I mean, I grew up with Eastman and Laird and just loved TMNT, and so I would love to do something like that. And you gotta have, it has to include Shredder and Bebop and Rocksteady and the giant dopey robot suit. Like that would be. Then I'd feel like, all right, that's badass. I get to do like traditional TMNT, and then like the thing that blew my mind, because when I first started collecting, it was like Executioner's Song was going on across all the X books, and like that was different. But then they did Age of Apocalypse, which just wiped out every title and created all new titles.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that it would be. I mean, an AOA one shot would just be a shit ton of fun, because then you get to deal with like the dark side of the mutant
Hell yeah.
area. That would be pretty cool. But yeah,
That's so sick. My 3-year-old is like just now getting into like turtle shit, and I was never really. I kind of like. I think I watched like the cartoon a little bit when I was a kid, but like that was it. And like we recently watched the new movie, whatever, Mutant Mayhem.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
Fucking
sickest
God.
thing of
So-
all
ah.
time.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
so much fun.
Dude, I want to go to
Oh my
Flavor Town,
God.
man. It's such a it's such a good movie.
Ninja Turtles rip, dude. Last Ronin, that shit is so fucking
Dude.
good.
Yeah. Last Ronin.
I have to check it out. I haven't checked. It's one that's like on my list. I've never fucked with. I need to do it.
It's
Yeah.
such an easy read, man. Just get like the one single fucking hardcover volume. It's just tasty, delicious. Love it.
Fuck yeah, man.
I haven't put the single issues away. I typically will open it up and just kind of flip through and look for shit. And just, wow, this is so good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Oh man.
Fuck yeah, boys.
What about you,
We've
Kevin?
been
Did you,
streaming for a damn. What's that?
did you mention your dream book?
Yeah, Kev, what about you?
Yeah.
So I have this really fucking rad idea for fucking Superman. That would be my big 2 fucking fantasy. It's basically Superman traveling to mysterious planets that have these like gnarly Cronenbergian, like half human, half alien hybrid monsters that he's fighting. And while he's going from planet to planet, he's uncovering this kind of conspiracy that Lex Luthor is behind to create the breakaway society for like the world's billionaires. Like knowing that the Earth is going to end and climate change is happening, like Lex Luthor is like scheming to create a new Earth. And so he's like, Superman is just like slowly uncovering it, like detective style, but also just fighting like existential nightmare monsters and like realizing that humanity as a whole has given up and like wants to just like part ways with the Earth. And it's like this nightmare scenario for fucking Superman. Like that's my book. That's my Black Label pitch, basically.
Copyright
So sick.
2024.
Yeah, DC, if you put that book out, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Dude, do you remember? I don't know if he was talking about it there. I forget where he was talking about it. But Daniel Warren Johnson was talking about what his Black Label pitch was before Dead Earth. Was it at Heroes?
May have been before. Dead Earth was like already in like its hardcover release by that Heroes.
It might have been. But he might have been talking about it there though. Like this is like his first idea was about Pa Kent and how like finding out who Clark was and watching him like become Superman was like this incredible thing, but it was also making him like lose his faith in God, knowing that this thing was here and that he was his son. And I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't they do that? Like,
it's because DC is super protective of the Superman. Like I know that like beyond the fact that I'm just like an unknown fucking person, like being like wanting to do something that outlandish with the Superman like IP is like a no-go for DC, likely. I mean, look at Black Label. Like, the only Black Label release for Superman is the fucking Frank Miller Year One, and I really don't like that book. I'm sorry. But, like, you know, they're willing to do whatever you want with Batman and fucking Harley and the whole extended universe of that, and fucking Aquaman has a Black Label book, but, like, you don't fucking touch Supes, man. That's, like,
seriously.
It's a holy IP, which I get.
Oh, I also have, like, an Animal Man book where he, kills Aquaman.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I feel like Marvel is too intimidating to like even want to like have the idea to play in the sandbox. Like they just don't break from their continuity all too often, and like there's so much like just continuous lore to like try to juggle while you're telling those stories, whereas like DC's like, yeah, you can kind of do whatever you want, we'll just like let it be a creator-owned Black Label book, and it's like fine. And that's like really inspiring.
Oh, what's this, Ben?
Dude, you guys being fans of Daniel Warren Johnson, talking about that original concept you were saying, Sam, that so I think I finally heard it out of Daniel Warren Johnson's mouth. Like, immediately when he's thinking of a story, he's thinking, like, how am I going to make somebody cry? That's just the ultimate. He wants to turn every comic book fan into a whiny little emo baby.
It works every time.
But
he succeeds.
Oh, my gosh. There is, so this is Superman Red and Blue. So when they were doing kind of their color-themed issues. And Daniel has like a 8-page in this that shows the vast majority is just Pa Kent.
It's probably that idea.
Talking to Superman, like dealing with him when he sees him as a baby, growing up as an adolescent, and then it's freaking gorgeous. And again, 8 pages, and I still shed a tear every time I read this.
Dude,
8-page short.
Even his Deadpool one. His Deadpool 8-page.
His Deadpool one is so good.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm getting teary-eyed.
Deadpool sitting down with Daniel Warren Johnson as a kid while Daniel's, like, on Deadpool.
Yeah. I was like, dude, he makes it so wholesome. What the hell is this?
Dude, don't you, like, kind of hate him? It's like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, how do you do this? How are you...
I just want to be his friend.
I know, that's it.
I hate him only because I resent his success so much, because the first, like... Heroes Con, we were able to talk to him for hours, and then last year he had a line that was just like 40 minutes long the entire weekend, and I was like, man, I just want to fucking hang out with that guy, and he's fucking busy and successful being a fucking dick about it. God, he's so nice.
He's smiling and he's being nice to all of his fans. How dare he?
God.
I hate him in like the most loving, like caring way. Like I love that guy. But it's like, dude, you're too powerful. You're too good.
You're telling me, man. When we went to the signing of his back, 2 years ago or whatever it was,
for issue 1 of Dual Power Bomb.
Yeah, at Acme.
Yep, at Acme. Met him there, and then that's basically when he was just like, hey, man, I want to see your originals. So then we go to Heroes Con, bring my originals, and he was literally just sitting there for like 30 minutes, just looking at like the stuff that I brought. I brought everything. I didn't know what to bring, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll bring it all."
Why wouldn't he, dude? Like, right? Like, why wouldn't he just be like, "Dude, let me just be like the coolest fucking guy ever"? Dude. What the fuck was Jermaine doing eating soup at his house?
Was he not at that signing? No, he was at that signing.
No, he
Yeah.
went
Oh,
to
he's not
Daniel Warren
Heroes
Johnson's
Con.
house.
He was at his house,
Yeah.
eating his wife's soup,
Yeah,
like just vibing, seeing some
Yeah.
unfinished Transformers
Jermaine is
shit.
that dude though, where like I'll just be reading an article on a completely unrelated topic, and they're just like, and then we talk to Jermaine about it. I'm like, what the fuck does Jermaine have to do with this? Like, okay,
Let me talk to Jermaine. Yeah, he knows
Dude,
everybody,
how
man.
freaking sick is this cover?
I know.
Like,
It's sick.
Daniel Warren Johnson
God,
cover.
dude.
And then let me
Insane.
flip. Let me find the inside real quick. I mean, you get Hulk tearing Deadpool in half. You get Deadpool and Cable, which is freaking badass. You get him dancing with Dazzler for some
Dude,
weird ass,
yeah.
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Daniel's childhood,
Yeah.
where he's taking a Deadpool comic to his dad
Can I get
and asking his dad if he can buy it, and then sitting down at the table with fucking Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like you get young Daniel and old Daniel.
That's
I
so
hate
bad.
him, dude.
so
hate him.
cool.
he's
He's
Yeah.
so
fucking
good.
talented and so
He's
nice.
He's
can't
so
have it all.
good.
You can't. But he did.
Oh,
He found a
God.
way.
He has it all,
Yeah.
man.
He did it,
Man, have y'all been reading fucking Transformers?
dude.
I don't give a shit about Transformers. I'm buying every
I-
goddamn issue of that book, dude. That
That's
book
the
is so
thing.
good.
That's the thing. I don't give a fuck about Transformers, but like he makes me care about it,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Dang.
I get like seeing it because I think you kind of see it through his eyes and like the way he sees it, and I think that's like a super special thing to be able to do to like convey like this is why I think this is so cool. This is how it looks in my brain, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you're insane.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ooh,
He's-
we got a
it's too
good
much.
question from the chat. Brock is asking, what are the Sams reading?
Yeah.
Ooh.
What are you reading while you're pooping, dude? What's
What's
going
on
on?
the pull list?
Yeah.
What's important? What are we following? What are we loving?
Lately, I've been like crushing the Spidey and his amazing friend children's show has a 5-minute bedtime story. Dude, my son and I drilling those motherfuckers.
Oh,
We've
that's
been
awesome.
going crazy on them.
That's
They're
adorable.
they're pretty sick.
Hell
And then
yeah.
I go to bed. That's what I'm so behind on reading right now. It's insane.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I'm reading dude, full disclosure, I feel like I have not read a comic in like months.
Full
Like,
disclosure? Nope.
was it?
Here's just full disclosure. I'm not reading.
Dude, I literally cannot read.
No, I'm reading Hunter S. Thompson's
Oh my god, look at Ben's
Angels.
to read list.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
crazy.
I'll have to catch up on.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh man.
There's so much that I want to be reading. Like so much cool shit has come out that I'm like, I have it, I just haven't read it, And it's
Yeah.
like I gotta sit down. Like I want to read all of the Skybound Universal Monster stuff really bad. I really want to read.
Dude, the
There's
Energon universe is fire.
It's
fuck really
insane.
hard.
It looks so insane. Like so much cool. We are in such like a sweet spot for just everything rules right now, which is good and bad. It's really good as a reader because everything is awesome. It's hard to pitch right now because everything is fucking
Awesome.
great. So you're
How am I
really
supposed to keep up with the fact that Tom King has 6 ongoing titles right now? Like, you know what
it's
I'm saying?
insane.
These
It's
motherfuckers
insane.
just got books on every publisher. It's like,
James
where
Tinian.
am I supposed to pitch? Yeah, Tinyan's got fucking
Tinian.
goddamn 12 books going on at any given point in time. That
And they're all like
hardworking motherfucker.
incredible. Yeah.
They're
I
so
don't get
good.
it.
Well,
So,
Sam's,
hold on,
we've been
I got
talking.
one more.
Okay,
Yeah.
we got one more.
Yeah, so DK Dan said, have you guys ever considered doing a playlist for your books like Daniel Warren Johnson does?
Yes, I already do that with Manny. I sent him the albums and the songs that I am like telling him are the vibe of the book.
Uh-huh.
I just don't share it to anybody else, but I could.
Yeah.
I feel like I have done that before. There is something I was working on that was like kind of set in like the 80s club scene, so I had like a playlist with that.
That's cool.
I don't know, I feel like anytime I write, I have to like write in silence. I also like drive in silence. I like drive home in silence.
Whoa.
It's like
I'm the opposite.
I would pass out.
Can't meet you there.
Yeah, I just tend to. I look like fucking like Michael Douglas. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I send, if we're like Sam and I are working on something, I send him like movies a lot. And I'm always like, "Do you cruising?" Or like, "Do you ever see like it's just like the fucking like a list of like movie scenes that I sent, you know?"
Gotcha.
I feel that.
Just like
I feel
capturing
that.
the
I
vibe.
definitely make Manny watch movies when I'm like, it's like this.
And then I don't watch it, but I just agree. I shake my head.
I have to make him sit down and watch it with me, and then I pause it and I go, "You see, and then I press play.
Dude, I've been trying to make Sam fucking watch goddamn Angel Heart for like a year, dude.
Dude, the guy who wrote that movie was my directing teacher in college.
That's crazy.
The guy's a
love that movie.
fucking dickhead, but it's a funny movie.
We were in Ben's car and he had a VHS copy of it, and I was like, "It's a fucking sign, dude.
It's a sign."
Granted, Ben probably has a VHS copy of like 40 different things in his car at any given time.
Yeah, I need to offload a bunch of my VHSs to him because I don't want these in my fucking collection anymore.
Yeah.
That's funny as hell.
Well, what movies were the inspiration for Hound?
Ooh.
Damn. I don't think they're like.
I'd say probably the closest would be like all Quiet on the Western Front, probably.
Yeah, you can see that.
We listed a couple. We always do, like, whenever we like make up a pitch, we're always like, for fans of stuff like this, you know. So
it's also like rarely comics. I feel like too. I feel like it's
mostly movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
We said this is like you had one, Sam, that was like.
It was like Overlord.
Yeah.
Come and See.
Yeah.
Thin Red Line, stuff like that, which are all a little World War II, but.
Yo, I found the AI photos that we saw. That's crazy.
Hell yeah, that's an Easter egg.
That's an Easter egg. No, we're not going to promote that. We're not going to promote that fucking AI bullshit.
We don't fuck with AI art here.
Skin job bullshit.
Sam's, it's been about 2 hours. We can't thank you enough for hanging out with us. Fucking talking this sick ass book. Y'all, if you're watching this right now and you haven't read Hound, fucking stop everything and go buy Hound and read it. Support these guys, man. This book fucking kicks ass. Yeah, go to your local comic store specifically and buy this book. Don't fucking just order it on Amazon like a bitch.
Yeah,
do the right thing. Closing thoughts. Anybody have anything they want to share before we close this out?
I love you, both Sams.
Yeah,
I love everybody in here, and like fucking, I'm so jealous that you guys all live so close to Acme. I wish I could go there every day. I love that place.
Just move down here, man. Just bring the whole family.
I'm trying, bro. I've been talking to my wife, dude. I'm like, let's just pack it up.
Dude. Bodega is like reason enough for me to move down. That was like the best sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Dude, the bodega is crazy. Oh my god,
I love it. I love it. All of my folks are gonna move to the Triad within 1 year. That's the goal. All right, y'all. We're going to close this stream out. Everybody watching, thanks for hanging out.
Shout out DK Dance.
Shout out DK Dance. Shout out Brock the Dealer.
Most of all, shout out Brock. Shout out Brock forever, dude.
Shout out Brock forever. Hey, yo.
All right, y'all. You have a great night.
All right. Peace.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.